you talked about not quitting, right? But by the same token, as you're out there looking for money, you're basically making an argument to a bunch of really smart people regarding the validity of your premise, right? You have an opinion, and you want to convince people with money that your opinion holds water. I have to imagine that sooner there's going to be a little pushback, right, in those rooms, and sometimes the pushback is going to be valid. And so the question that I have is how you balance your faith in your idea, and it is to a certain degree faith, right? How do you balance the faith with the quality of the arguments on the other side, and how do you take those arguments on board and use them to improve your idea? Can we talk a bit about how you sort of dance that dance?
Yeah. So I think there's a difference between how you speak internally about, frankly, like, what do we have and what can we, to sell to people. Sell means could be to investors or product to customers, versus how you present yourself in front of investors, right? Or an outside or a customer, right? I mean, when you're in front of a customer, and the investor is a form of customer, but they're investing money in the company, not necessarily buying a product. You better be full of confidence, right? I mean, you better be like on fire, convincing them that this is going to be the next thing. Is what we were talking revolutionary technology. I'm working on one right now. I'm raising money for a new bank in Puerto Rico, right? We're not splitting atoms. It's a new bank, right? It doesn't have that. But what we do have is we have other cool stuff and why it's interesting to them. But you better be into telling your story. If you go in and give them the same conversation you have internally about shooting holes and what's wrong with your product, you got this one guy who really shows up late to work and he seems to be, he's not really with it. Like, there's two different conversations that you have. And then, we were fortunate, I think, that we had, and I credit Dan with this completely, is the vision of the technology and where it's going. And Jason, you met Dan once in Miami. I mean, Dan is he is a unique human being in terms of a brain that is just unbelievable.
He's a bright flame.
Oh my goodness. I mean, he is, he sees things happening, that are so complex. And, and I'll give you, we had classmates and I won't name the names, people who understand financial services well, who could not understand what we were talking about doing. I mean, these are people who are in the market. They couldn't grasp the first bit of it after spending hours with them explaining what it is we were talking about. This was a complex offering. So you got to keep going, you got to eventually find the person who does get it in terms of what you're saying, and it resonates with them to the point that they're willing to take action. I mentioned this, the class of 96 guy who introduced us to the investor who saved us with our first big round of funding. And he saw it for whatever reason. I don't think he had a vested interest of anything. I don't think he ever made a penny. I mean, he'll never buy a drink if he's in a bar with me, I'll guarantee you that. But, he just introduced us to the right people at the right time, and it worked out. But it is a struggle, and especially if you're doing something new and innovative. And kind of to wrap that up, Jason, there's never a shortage of people who will tell you, you're a fool. One person told me you're chasing rainbows. It's like, this sort of thing. But you gotta put it in the context of who you're listening to. And, if you're taking advice from people who haven't been there, who haven't run a successful business, who haven't done it, it'd be like taking marriage advice from me. That'd be crazy. You would never take marriage advice from me. My marriage was a disaster, right? So, why don't you find someone who actually has been successful, who's been through the struggles of things and found a way through, and listen to those people. And, one of the things, there's a podcast I listen to here. The guy actually lives in my community here, where I live here in Puerto Rico, is the actual podcaster. But he wraps up his podcast every time with, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, right? And if you think about that, who do you spend your time with? And you're the average of those 5 people, over time. And you can change those people out naturally and all like this. But it's a matter of surrounding yourself with people who will be uplifting, and positive in helping, right? Sometimes positive in helping is telling you you're on the wrong course. You need to change strategy.